Hello and welcome to my channel today, Boo Snakes and More. Today we're going to be reading the book, Long Live the Pumpkin Queen. So please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And for more videos like this, watch my other half channel, A&A Snakes and Stuff. My younger son's channel, Henny's Toys and Games. Or my oldest son's channel, Little Chris 10. Now let's dive into the video. A sharp blade of doubt edges into my thoughts. Maybe I am more unprepared for this rule than I realized. But Jack folds his hand over mine. And the look of excitement in his eyes forces my own, stirring thoughts to retract. We find the path that winds along Loverbird Inn, to where a dozen small colleges sit like kisses, nestled between the tall grass and rustling white pine trees. Jack slides the key into the lock of college number 5, set on the far left of the others. Who else comes to stay here, I ask cautiously. Anyone, I suppose, he says. Those from other holidays who pass through the doorways. And want a weekend away, a vacation. We push into the little college and are met with the scent of vanilla jasmine candles and rose petals scattered along the wood floor. Jack places our suitcase beside the bed. Why does no one come to Halloween Town to visit? I ask, walking to the lace curtain and pulling it back to look out on Valentine's Town. We don't have an inn, Jack's eyes lift, his peculiar smile curling upward. But perhaps we should. Tourism might be good for the town. I let the curtain fall back into place, and Jack crosses the room, taking my hands in his. There's so much to see, he says at last, kissing my palm, and not a moment to waste. With our suitcase now deposited into our college, we venture back out into Valentine's Town. The day is a whir of chocolate confections dipped in hazelnuts and caramelized brown sugar, raspberries coated in white chocolate, and chalky little hearts with words stamped onto their surface. Love bug, sweet pea, XOXO. We eat them by the handful, our cheeks flushed from the sugar. Chest thumping wildly, we even pass a factory where the hearts are made, stacks of little pink boxes lined up in the windows, surely to be delivered to the human world once Valentine's Day arrives. Even the air smells sweet, I say, popping a cherry truffle into my mouth as we wander the cobbled streets, feeling the chocolate break apart on my tongue. Jack takes my hand and twirls me in a circle. I knew you would love it here. I think how heavenly it must be to nibble on tiny cakes and swirled caramels and plum ginger puffs all day. Tea with lemon purlet fours in the afternoon. After dinner, mint truffles with butter, Scotch coffee in the evening. My mind swims with the notion of it. The easy sugar-induced wow that would follow me into candy-tinted dreams each night. Life here in Valentine's Town would surely be simple and uncomplicated. Outside a small pastry, the window display filled with trays of butter cookies. A scat woman is ordering a box of margarines from the gray mustached man in the doorway. And beside her is a lace-trimmed prim filled with 3 whining babies. They all have a twirl of dark hair atop their otherwise bald heads, skin the color of figs, just like the woman with lips stained, a bright pink and a dusting of powdered sugar along their fingertips and white bibs. I bent
Quality
down
sugar!
and touched the chubby hand
Anyways,
of one
Mom,
of the crying
those mini
infants.
mozzarella sticks, they're good. You like them.
I've already had them.
Okay, I didn't know
You can
had
have the
them.
last
I
2.
forgot to tell you about them.
I already had some. You can have the last couple if you want them.
I didn't know. No, I'm making my own food.
I was just letting you know.
What were we talking about powder and sugar? We're talking about cocaine?
No, I'm reading the Pumpkin Queen book.
Oh, okay. So cocaine. Well, actually powder and sugar. Who knows?
I bent down and touched the chubby hand of one of the crying infants, and it immediately grabs my pointed finger and squeezes, giggling, showing its gummy, toothless mouth. The other 2 infants stop crying and peer up at me. With their moon saucer eyes, all 3 gazing at me as if they were looking at the night sky in wonder. Well done, the quaint woman remarks, nodding down at me. They usually don't quiet for anything but sweets. But they certainly like you. She places her box of cookies atop the little awning of the prim. Are they cherubs? I ask, curious why these babies are tucked into a prim. Why we've seen others flying through town with tiny bows and arrows. They will be once they grow their wings, she answers, bending down to straighten the white, ruffled tunic on the 3rd baby in the back. Have a sweet day, she says to me, smiling before starting to push the prim away. The baby releases my finger and begins making a fussing sound, followed by a full well, but the woman keeps pushing them up the cobbled street, humming to the infants in a gentle, sugary sing-song. I wonder if someday Jack and I will have our own prim filled with tiny skeletons and rag dolls. The scutter of little feet through the house, skeleton boys tumbling down the spiral stairs, little ragdoll girls with their threads coming loose, always needing their fingers and toes stitched back together. A perfectly grim little family. Jack plucks a single lavender rose growing beside the pastry, then holds it out to me. For the Queen of Halloween Town, he says, with a goofy little tip of his head, as if he likes the sound of it, Queen, but the word echoes along the walls of my fabric insides, making me shiver. Still, I take the flower from him and bring it to my nose, all soft petals in a silky springtime scent. Jack weaves his fingers back through mine and whisks me up the street, away from the main center of town, and down a winding path through the thicket of stargazer flowers that opens up to a wide river. 4 small wooden boats sit tied to the shore, and Jack climbs into the bow of one with a lavender heart painted on the side, then takes hold of an oar. I don't think we should, I say. We don't know who they belong to. We'll only borrow it, he replies with a wink, and I can't help smiling back. He takes my hand and helps me into the teetering little boat. We push off from shore, and I dip my hand down into the water, but the surface is thick like mud. What is it, I ask. Jack runs a finger along the top, then brings it to his mouth. Chocolate. He sinks his hand in again, then leans forward to place a dollop of warm melted chocolate on the end of my nose. I laugh, wiping it clean, then scoop up a handful of the chocolate river and lob it in his direction. He ducks just in time, barely missing it, and grinning wildly, but he doesn't see the next wad of chocolate I launch toward him, and it splats right across his bone-white face. A deep, rolling belly laugh rises inside me, and I buckle forward, giggling so hard I fear I might split one of my seams. Jack is still laughing when I climb over the narrow bench seat separating us and kiss him square on the lips, tasting the sugary sweetness of dark chocolate. "Thank you for bringing me here," I whisper against his mouth. He smiles. We can spend our lives exploring the other holidays together as king and queen. He kisses me again, his hand tracing the seam along my right cheekbone. But the word catches in my chest again, queen, like a thorn prickling at my linen flesh, digging in deeper, burrowing. I can't seem to shake it. I'm still not used to it, I admit softly, leaning back against the side of the boat. "What?" Jack asked. "Being called a queen." Jack rests the oars on the edge of the boat and leans forward, letting the current pull us through the canals of Valentinestown. Along the boardwalk lined with calves and chocolate shops and even a greeting card store, with handmade paper cards fluttering in the window. "Halloween Town has never had a queen before," he says, tracing the stitching along my palm with his bony finger. "You are the first." His dark, moonless eyes stare into mine, rooting me to him, and I feel a comfort in his gaze. I've never known anything else. "You are now the queen of all of Halloween." Thank you for watching this video, and peace out till the next one.